Yo, oh my Green Bay Packer faithful, Title Town Brawl Nation, what's up? We live with an extra tipsy edition of Title Town Brawl post-game show. It's your boy, Packers Positive on Instagram. Well, actually, not on Instagram, Packers Positive on Twitter. I manage the Title Town Brawl social media accounts, and Green Bay defeats Minnesota. What was it? 43-34. 34 is 6 plus 3 is 9. Yeah, we had a 9-point victory, 43-34 in Minneapolis on their home field. We kicked their ass. I know they kind of made it close at the end, but as y'all probably saw, Packin was playing some prevent defense in the end. Plus, we lost our all-pro level starting nose tackle, Kenny Clark. Let's everybody send some prayers up for him. Hopefully, he can come back healthy. And we had some other injuries on the offensive line, but regardless of all that, Green Bay was able to pull out the victory. And you see me, I'm out here in these streets. I'm in the Green Bay. I'm not even in the Green Bay Packers streets. I'm in these Maryland streets with my cheese head on. That victory is so good, I had to get a cigarette to smoke. But hey, anybody who's watching this who's not over 18, do not smoke. Drugs is bad, kids. But I am so hyped for the victory that the Packers pulled off. I just had to get on. This is the post-game Title Town Brawl show, brought to you by nobody at this point in time. We don't have any sponsorships, but I want to make sure that I'm available to the fans, to the Packer faithful, to all the cheeseheads. You see me, man. I got Nick Barnett. Is this Nick Barnett? One of these sides is signed by Nick Barnett. One is signed by Nick Collins. I'm not really sure which one, but hey. We live regardless, bro. 1-0 in the division, and the Vikings, the Bears, they just was able to stave off a victory by the Lions. So the Bears are 1-0 and the Packers are 1-0. The Lions dropped to 0-1. The Vikings dropped to 0-1. Fuck the Bears. That's what I'm talking about. The Bears still suck. Always, every day, all day, the Bears still suck. Captain Kobe Jack. That's what I'm talking about. We got some fucking cheese heads in the building. You see me rocking my cheese head. Like I said, I wore this cheese head to the 2014 when the Packers played the Washington football team in the wild card round. I believe that was the relax season when Aaron Rodgers told everybody to relax, and they started out 4-6, and they rolled off an impressive 6 victories in a row to go end up 10-6 in the regular season. They went to the wild card game and ended up losing eventually to who they lose to? They lost to the Cardinals, I believe, that year when Rodgers threw 2 Hail Marys in the final minutes of the game. Yo, we got Foots 34 joining us. What's going on, everybody that's joining me post-game? Everyone, go Pack, go Pack, go. Green Bay wins against Minnesota in Minneapolis. What's up, everybody? I'm hype. I'm hella hype. I'm like 4 or 5 beers in. I was on a Zoom call. If you want to have access to the Zoom call every game day, we're going to try to do a Zoom pre-game show and a Zoom show with other Packers fans all across the world. It's on the Twitter feed. DM me, and I will try to get you, and I will get you plugged in on Twitter and on the Zoom call so that we can make sure that all the Packers fans all across the world are able to be a part of Packers Mania on game day. And we also have a Discord channel you can join, and we all watch the game. I watched the game with about 14 other Packers fans from all over the country, California to Wisconsin to Texas, and we had some people from Ohio in the chat. We had people all over the world, man. It was great. It was cool. It was what football is all about, man. Since in these times, COVID-19, we can't go to bars, we can't, go to the stadium, but we can still get together and we can still celebrate the Packers when they win. It's going to be Victory Monday. Go Pack, go. We beat the Minnesota Vikings. I can't wait till Wednesday's show. Look, this is Titletown Brawl, okay? Part of the Brawl Network. If you don't know, now you know. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Titletown Brawl hosts a live podcast on Spreaker, Spreaker. Go to Spreaker.com, search for Titletown Brawl, and you can listen to Jay Andrews and B. Jackson, Brandon Jackson. Yes, that is the one and only Brandon Jackson. I think he wore number 32 for the Packers, and he is a Super Bowl winning champion with the Packers back in 2010. You get lots of insight. You get lots of firsthand accounts of that team. We've had players come on the show. We've had producers from ESPN. We've had producers from other prominent podcasts and sports outlets come on the show. I want guys to follow that on Twitter as well as Facebook. Titletown Brawl. This is the postgame. This is the postgame show. I am Packers Positive. Packers Postive. Packers Positive on Twitter. I am the social media manager for Titletown Brawl, and I am out in these streets in the DMV, as we call it, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. But I have been a Packers fan since 1994. So I've been on board. How you doing? I've been on board for a very long time. And this is the post-game show. We're going to talk about the victory that the Packers have enjoyed today over Minnesota. It was a hard-fought game. Early on, the Packers were able to go down. They moved the ball very well in the first drive. They had to settle for a field goal. After that, Minnesota had a very, very productive drive, especially running the ball. The defense looked a little shaky. They looked a little suspect, to be real with you. And they let Dalvin Cook score a short goal line touchdown to go down 7-3. And then they were able to, go Pack, go! They were able to go down on the second drive. They went for the 4th and 1 on inside the 5. They didn't convert. No. The first drive, they scored a touchdown. Yeah, the second drive, they went for the 4th. I want to say, honestly, the second drive, they may have also scored a field goal. I can't remember right now. Or maybe it was the second drive they went down and they went for 2. They went for it on 4th and 1. They weren't able to convert. Then the Vikings were backed up in their own end zone. Yeah, they were backed up in their own end zone. And Jair Alexander, Mike Patton sent Jair Alexander on a corner blitz on the second play of the Vikings' second drive, and he was able to sack Kirk Cousins for a safety. Then it was 5-7 Minnesota, and then on the pursuing drive, the Packers were able to go down. The Packers were able to go down on their third drive, score a field goal after a failed Devontae Adams bubble screen. Rodgers threw a bubble screen to Devontae Adams inside the 5. He dropped the pass. He was hit on the play, dropped the pass. They weren't able to convert. They scored a field goal, and they went up 8-7. And then on the very next drive, Rashawn Gary and Zadarius Smith were able to get a sack. They forced a 3-and-out. And then I want to say MVS scored a touchdown, or quite possibly, I think Devontae Adams scored a touchdown, and then they had to force another 3 and out, and then MVS scored a touchdown in the last minutes of the second quarter before halftime to go up 22-8, and then coming out on the opening drive, they were able to stop them. They scored another touchdown pass to Lazard, and the Packers were on to a resounding victory. Yes, yo, Big J 1202. Thank you for joining. Yo, you are a faithful follower. I hope you're following us also on Twitter at Titletown Brawl. Titletown Brawl. No underscores, no nothing. It sounds just how it is. It's just how it sounds. Titletown Brawl. Follow us on Twitter. The defense. Let's talk about it. They get an interception off of Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander also gets a safety. He had a big day. They didn't give up many big plays in the passing games. Yes, later on in the game, in the third and fourth quarter, they did give up some scores, but they were playing. Packin was playing a prevent defense, and we all know prevent defense only prevents you from winning. But thankfully, it didn't prevent them from winning this game. The Packers are 1-0 within the division. They deliver a loss to one of their biggest rivals in the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings. And Lazard, Adams, and MVS all go for touchdowns. Adams had 2 touchdowns. Lazard had a touchdown. MVS had a deep shot touchdown in the third, which in the fourth, which really set them up for a resounding victory. Rodgers was sharp. The offensive line was stout. They didn't allow any sacks. They didn't allow many pressures, I don't even think. And they even had some injuries. Taylor goes out, I believe. And they also had an injury on the defensive line. Kenny Clark went out of the game. But other than that, they were pretty solid, man. I just want to know, is there anything that you guys were worried about, concerned about? What's the positive, we're going to call it confidence and concern. What are you most confident about coming out of this game? What are you most concerned about coming out of this game? I want to know. Let us know. There is a hotline. You can call in and leave a message for the show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Titletown Brawl with Jay Andrews and Brandon Jackson, B-Jacks, of the 2010 Super Bowl champion team. I'm hyped. I'm hyped, ladies and gentlemen. I am super, super excited for the season. I can't believe it's here. COVID proposed a possible COVID was trying to ruin the season. But at the end of the day, the NFL, as I assumed, were not going to allow anything to get in the way of their billion-dollar franchise. They made $9 billion or $10 billion last year. They probably won't make as much this year because they didn't have the 4 preseason games, but they will still be in the billions of dollars this year. And because fans and people are so rabid for the NFL, and there was the threat of a season not happening, I believe fans will be even more tuned in this year. And the Super Bowl will be more watched, especially because it will probably feature the Packers. Well, it would definitely feature the Packers and probably feature the Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens or the Pittsburgh Steelers, all 3 of which have very rabid fan bases in the AFC. It's going to be a very watched Super Bowl game. Man, there's a lot to get into for the post-game show, but mostly I want to talk about the positive. We can talk about the negatives if you want. The negatives, like I said, being the run game. Kenny Clark got hurt, which we hope he won't miss any games. And do we have any other injuries on defense? I don't know if we had any other injuries on defense, but we also had some injuries on offense. But offensively, especially in the passing game, the Packers look really good. Rodgers, had all day to throw in the pocket. He didn't look pressured at all. He had lots of opportunities to survey the field and make the best throw. He ended up, I want to say, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know he ended up with 340 passing yards and 4 TDs. I want to say he was like 28 of, or maybe like 30 or 40 passing on the day. He was probably around 65 to 68% passing, which is actually amazing, because no matter how much shit we want to talk against the division, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions, the Vikings are a very competent team. They are a very good defensive team, as you saw on the first couple of drives, especially in the first half and the second quarter specifically, or the first quarter specifically. And, for them to be able to put up 40 points, 43 points. They put up 43 points, which I would be pretty safe to say was more than they scored at all at any point in time in the season last year. The Packers put up 43 points on the Minnesota Vikings, a very vaunted defense. And, what can you say? If you have any if you don't have anything positive to say, or if you have more negatives to say than positives after this game, then you're just a negative fan. You're just a hater. And honestly, you should turn in your Green Bay Packers fan card, because they went into Minneapolis. They defeat the Vikings on the home field after a shortened preseason, offseason, but they only had 10 or 12 practices, if that. They have lots of rookies and second-year players who were expected to have big contributions, and they did. Everybody contributed. All 4 running backs were involved. All of the receivers that we expected to have big jumps in their season and production, like Lazard and Marquez, were involved. Adams went off for 2 touchdowns. They couldn't stop him. Of course, he had over 100 yards receiving. I mean, what else do you want? What else do you want from the Packers? They play well. Matt LaFleur, in his second year, called a pretty good game, honestly. Called a pretty good game. The running game left some to be desired. Even though, like I said, they got everybody involved, it still left something to be desired. But it's week 1. And, even though some people are going to say, they probably have some negative shit to say, but, the running game is a very physical game. It's one of those components of the offense that revolves around being in sync and having chemistry and having lots of practice and repetition, and they weren't able to get that in the offseason because of COVID. So I think as the season goes on, maybe week 3 to 5, the running game will become more efficient. The passing game was already spectacular. Rodgers had all day. He was never sacked, and I don't even remember him being pressured that much. He didn't have a lot of throwaways. He didn't have a lot of incompletions. So, I'm very impressed by what the Packers were able to do on the road against a division opponent who a lot of people expected to really dethrone them this year for the NFC Championship. As we all know, the Packers are the defending NFC North champions. Look, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I wanted to come on, give a breakdown of the game, talk about what I saw. I took some notes. And that's my opinion pretty much on the game. And every game day, we're going to be doing a pregame show, Title Town Brawl, on Instagram. And actually, I want to tape the pregame show before going live and be able to post that on YouTube as well as Instagram and Twitter. Please, if you are not already doing so, follow us on Twitter at Title Town Brawl. Follow us on Facebook, and of course, Tune in every Wednesday live on Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com. If you go to Spreaker.com, or if you go to the Titletown Brawl Twitter page, you can get the link to Spreaker so you can follow along live on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you can't, go to The Brawl Network, TheBrawlNetwork.com, TheBrawlNetwork.com. Sign up, log in. You can find all the content that we have to offer every week, including the podcast with Brandon Jackson, Super Bowl 45 champion, and Jay Andrews. And look, man, this is going to be a very magical season for the Packers. There are a lot of good teams that they will play, that they will beat. And regardless of what the analysts and the talking heads are saying, I am completely confident that the Packers will come out on top of this division. I think they're going to go 14-2. You know, the biggest threats to their record this year are going to be the Saints, Titans, the Niners, of course, and I want to say Saints, Titans, Niners. And who else do they play this year that's going to be a pretty good team? I'm forgetting somebody right now. And the Vikings, honestly, but they already I think those are the four teams I think that propose the biggest threat to the Packers' success this year. The Vikings, the Saints, the Niners, and the Titans. They all play those teams this year, but we just took care of the Vikings at home, so on their home turf. So when we play them again later on this season, and we have opportunity to play them in Lambeau, I think they'll be even better. Look, man, I appreciate everybody for that stopped in. Foots 34, Renee Can't Swim, Big J 1202, Captain Kobe Jack, and Respect the Cheese. Look, every game day morning, game day, halftime, and post game Titletown Brawl, we will be doing a show, a segment, giving you some information about the game, recapping the game, and basically breaking down what we saw from the game in the post show. Look, man, I appreciate everybody who joined in. Like I said, go Pack Go. 2020 is underway. We are 1-0. Next up, we have the Lions next up, who gave a really good effort against the Bears, but they couldn't pull it out. So, as we know, if you're a real Packers fan, last year the Lions, even without Matt Stafford, they gave the Packers a really good run for their money. But I believe in year 2 of LaFleur. I really believe in year 2 of the LaFleur offensive plan, year 3 of the Packin plan, and certain guys going into year 2 of the Packin defense. This is going to be a really special year for the Packers. Hey, Packers, Packer Mania _06. Thank you for joining the postgame show. I'm just getting ready to get off, but hey, follow us on Twitter if you aren't already. Titletown Brawl, like I said, every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. There's a live show on Spreaker.com, SP Titletown Brawl, and you'll find us, or you can go to TheBrawlNetwork.com once the show has been uploaded, and you can listen to. And until next week, guys, go Pack Go, and I'll talk to you then. Peace.